My name is Azuma Nishiyama, and I'm a second-year high school student. In my class, there's one girl who has some issues. That's her, Minori Minase. She comes into class late, right in the middle of class, and no one pays any attention to her. Neither the teacher nor the students say anything. Hey, you're late. Except for me.
Hey, you're annoying. What's your problem?
Come to school on time.
Why do you have to be told that by you?
That's because I'm a member of the class committee.
A troublesome man become a class committee member.
That's not true. The job of class committee member is troublesome.
It's the same either way. And don't talk to me.
Okay. She's often late and absent. It would be rather fine if she came to school once every 3 days. No matter who in the class talks to her, she just stares at them and don't take her seriously. The same applies to teachers. She seems to dislike contact with other people and strongly avoids interference. Thanks to this, almost no one tries to get involved with her nowadays. I forgot to tell you. Good morning!
Good morning.
Such is her luck that I'm sitting next to her. No matter how coldly she treats me, it doesn't matter to me. I'm still a classmate. Does everyone have something you want to do? The school festival is a major event for high school students, and it's the duty of the class committee members to organize the performances. That's why I'm standing in front of everyone like this in homeroom before we go home. What about the haunted house?
What? That's boring. Let's sell crepes.
Make your own at home. It's a hassle. Well, don't say that. It's fun because we do it together.
What? Do your haunted house at home.
No, how are you gonna do it? I'm glad that everyone seems to be having a good time. Well, I hope it's decided by the end of homeroom. We couldn't decide eventually. In the end, time ran out without being able to narrow down the choice between the haunted house and the crepe shop. What should I do? There are just so many applicants for both, and in the end it's up to me to decide which one we're gonna do. Hey, Minase, which one do you prefer?
Huh?
The haunted house or the crepe shop? Which do you prefer?
Why are you asking me? Are you stupid?
Of course, it's because we're classmates.
What? Oh, you really are an idiot. How can you count someone who isn't even in the class?
What's wrong with that? Doesn't it have anything to do with the number of times you've attended the class?
Oh, of course it's funny.
Hey! In the end, I'm the only one who decides. Next day? Well, after a whole day of racking my brains, I finally came to a conclusion. If you can't decide between the two, do both. We'll call it Ghost Crepe. Just dress up as a ghost and make crepes. I'm a genius. Minase is absent? Well, it's rare for her to come in the first place. Well, I wanted to tell her about this genius idea. It's been a week since we decided on our performance for the festival. There's only a little over a month left until the festival, so since the other day, all my classmates have been working hard to prepare for it. Minase didn't show up today either. 1 week, huh? Usually she would have come to school at least once every 3 days off. I'm a bit worried. So?
Yes?
Hey!
Huh?
I'm not going to be able to do anything about it, so I've decided to go and check on her directly.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean? Of course! I was going to tell you to come to school.
What?
From the looks of it, you seem to be in good health. If you're not feeling well, I thought I'd pay you a visit.
That's ridiculous. Why do you have to go out of your way to do that?
Huh? That's because, of course, I'm a class committee member.
Darn, that's the reason, eh? Don't be needlessly nosy, troublesome fellow.
Also, I didn't like the fact that I haven't seen your face all this time. Well, I'm glad I achieved that goal.
Are you an idiot?
Hey! Hey, I'm leaving this for you.
Darn. Really? What a troublesome guy. It's not the right time to come, idiot.
Next day?
Yes?
Hey!
You haven't learned your lesson after yesterday, have you?
I thought I'd visit you if you weren't feeling well, but...
Are we still going to do this?
You're absent. It's rude to assume you're skipping out and not to visit you.
You're a guy who's hard on his duty in a weird way. It was worth it to have done it earlier, just in case.
So, are you still not going to come to school?
No, I'm not going. I won't go.
The school festival is coming up soon. Everyone's getting ready.
I'm not interested in the school festival. It'll only make me want to go even less.
Well...
What is it?
For someone who says so, I feel like you were listening quite seriously to the discussion of the cultural festival's presentation.
That's enough. Go home.
What's up? Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry. It doesn't matter with you.
Come to think of it, aren't you a bit paler than when I saw you before?
Nothing. It's not that.
Are you eating properly? Are your parents at work? Tell them to make some nutritious meals for you.
I don't have any parents.
What?
I'm sorry, but I live alone. You're really, really meddlesome.
You're an idiot! You can't eat instant noodles only for your meals. I can't leave you like that.
People leave it alone normally. There's no one who would go to a stranger's house and go out of their way to make a home-cooked meal.
I'm not a stranger. I'm your classmate.
Ooh.
Here you go.
I'll have some.
How is it?
It's not good.
What?
You're not a very good cook for someone who started out so confidently.
What did you say?
I expected a little bit more from you. This is less than instant noodles. What?
No, I thought that you were eating a lot for someone who complains so much.
Leave me alone! My parents died in an accident when I was 8 years old. Then for about 7 years, I was in the care of my aunt. And now, I've left my aunt's house and live alone.
You're still in high school. Isn't it a bit early for you to be living alone? I mean, you don't have the ability to live on your own.
It's fine. I don't like the idea of living with someone else.
Even though your relative who has lived together for 7 years?
Time doesn't matter. After all, a stranger is a stranger.
You're cold.
It's a little late for you to know.
You know... You suck at games.
What?
And after that,
What's for dinner tonight?
I was thinking of making a simple nabe today.
Don't cut corners on your own.
What?
But I like nabe, so I'll forgive you.
From where do you stand? Dropping in at Minase's house after school has become a tradition.
Oh hey! That meat is mine! Don't take it without permission!
Don't be silly, you. All you've been doing is eating meat. Eat vegetables. And it had become a common sight to go up to the house and cook meals. I won.
That's not fair, you! What was that shortcut?
Who would run on this course following instructions? Use your head.
Not only is your personality twisted, but even the way you play the game is twisted.
I don't want to hear that from you.
Speaking of which... Lately, you don't tell me to go to school.
I completely forgot about it.
You forgot original purpose, you idiotic fellow.
I'm having a lot of fun doing this with you.
Nah. You're weird. You went to the trouble of taking care of someone else after school. So what's the fun in that?
You're not someone. You're my classmate.
We're strangers. Everyone is a stranger.
Minase.
I don't need family, lovers, or friends. The more such relationships you have, the more they become a burden.
You're getting complicated in various ways.
Yes, I am. I'm that kind of person. So you, too, should give up on me as soon as possible.
Minase.
Huh?
See you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Put these over there.
Yes, master.
Phew. Finally, it's the last day of preparations for the festival. There's still some things left to do, but it looks like we'll manage to finish by the end of the day. Minase? She came to school.
Oh, it's Minase.
What's she doing here now, after all?
Hey. What is that? Do you need any help? Sorry, I'm busy right now. See you later. Hi.
Hey. Why are you just standing there like that? Carry this.
What?
There's still a lot of work to be done. I need you to work hard.
You're a slave driver.
Alright then, let's carry it. Hey, you're not putting in any effort at all. Here, it's ready.
What? Today's meal is really lavish.
You participated in the preparation properly. It's a reward.
It's only one day, and it was the day before. The others participate every day.
That's tremendous progress for you.
Huh.
Tomorrow's finally the school festival.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
it has nothing to do with me.
What the hell? You're not coming?
I'm not qualified to go.
Why?
A school festival is something that everyone works hard to be ready. It's too selfish to participate only in the fun part of the festival without doing much to prepare for it. I'm not going.
In a strange way, you're a hard-headed person, aren't you?
That's the last thing I want to hear from you.
Well, but you're absolutely right.
Hey,
See ya.
well, see you.
And then, on the day of the festival...
Yes?
Hey,
Why are you here?
what do you mean? I came to pick you up.
You idiot! I told you yesterday that I wouldn't go!
I know.
Then why did you come? You're a class committee member, aren't you? Can't you just leave your shop alone?
Of course, that's not possible.
If that were the case, why did you...
That's why I've come to replenish the staff.
What?
Oh, it looks good on you.
What you want from me?
No, we're short of people to hand out leaflets.
You want me to hand out leaflets in this embarrassing outfit?
That's right. You said so yourself.
What?
It's too selfish to participate in the fun part without doing any preparation.
No way!
That's right. You who didn't take part in the preparations at all, you'll have to work your ass off on the day.
Darn, you're a guy who's hard on duty in a strange way.
You knew that, didn't you?
Shoot! This is Ghost Crepe. We're on the second floor. Go scrape.
Hey, you!
What the hell?
Who hands them out so languidly? Go on, be more snappy!
You don't get it. I'm doing it in a ghostly way. You should praise me.
It's fine with you. You don't have to do it. Why do I have to dress you up in a maid's uniform and make you look ghostly?
Totally. Why do you have to do this?
If you say so. You could have just refused me to pick you up when I came to get you, and you could have just stayed at home. You didn't have to get dressed straight away when you were given clothes. But I won't tell you that.
What's with the staring? Are you skipping out?
No, I'm not. I'm a lookout.
You're a hard little man.
You're not honest at all.
I'm tired.
Good work.
You're really just watching.
I'm a lookout.
That's just another way of saying. So, where's the leaflet? I've given them all.
Yeah, it's all over.
What?
So from here on, it's free time.
I see.
Why are you looking so restlessly?
I'm not. I just thought that if that's the case, I don't need to be here anymore.
Don't you want to look around?
I don't have anyone to look around with me. Even if I go around by myself, it's just a waste of time.
You like being alone, but you're not good at being alone.
Shut up!
Then, do you want to go around with me?
What?
I'm free too. I don't mind.
So you want to go around with me that much? You're a man with a bad taste.
Yes.
What?
I like being with you rather a lot.
What?
If it was not you, I wouldn't go all the way to your house every day.
Don't say embarrassing things.
So, what are you gonna do? If you don't want to, you can refuse. I would get hurt though.
I don't have a choice, you know. It's better than being alone. That's all.
Phew, all the classes were doing their best.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I should get back to my class. Are you coming too? I'll teach you how to make crepes. Huh? What's the matter?
Sorry. I'm a little dizzy.
Oh, hey, you're sweating a lot.
I'm fine. It's nothing.
I'm taking you to the infirmary right now.
No, I'm fine.
But...
I said no! I'm sorry for making a loud voice. But it's okay. Let me sit down for a minute.
Yeah. That's...
It's the medicine I'm always taking. If I take this, I will feel better. What's with the face? It looks like you didn't know anything about it. Well, I didn't tell you. Stop that kind of look. It is the most painful thing for me.
Have you been unwell for a long time?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to be seen, especially you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I took you out.
I told you, I don't like it when you look at me like that. And I'll be alright if I take the medicine. Don't worry about it.
Can I...
Huh?
Can I ask you something? About your... thing?
Well, that's fine. If you see me this far anyway, I don't mind telling you. I've always been quite physically weak. I couldn't do too much exercise, and I always got sick if I went outside for a bit. Anyway, I was always causing trouble for those around me. My parents in particular have suffered a lot because of me.
My parents died in an accident and my aunt took me in. I was also quite a nuisance to my aunt. That's why I decided to live alone after I became a high school student. I didn't want to bother her anymore. It's the same at school. I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want anyone to be bothered because of me. That's why I kept everyone away. I don't want to have a relationship with anyone. The more relationships I have, the more it becomes a burden.
A burden? I thought that she considered others as her burden, but that's wrong. It wasn't that she thought her relationship with others were a burden. She didn't want to be a burden to someone else.
And yet, there are some people who, no matter whether you keep them away or not, they just won't leave you forever and ever insensitively. Even I can't stand up to that guy anymore. Well, I'm feeling a bit better now. Let's go, Azuma.
Yeah, what did you?
What is it?
You just called my...
I'm tired of calling you hey. Besides, I thought it would be nice to have at least one friend. What are you doing here?
You too. What are you doing here?
I'm just here because I don't have anything in particular to do.
You're not being honest.
What?
If you have nothing to do, why don't you just go home? The fact that you're here is proof that you don't want to leave so soon.
What about you? Why did you come to the rooftop?
It's obvious. I came to see my friend.
You're a real pain in the ass, you know that?
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have said friend so carelessly.
More to the point, I don't have a place downstairs.
What?
Class committee members are kind of out of place. I don't have anyone to dance with. What's with your stare?
Liar.
What?
I know you have a lot of friends.
That's not true. Well, I'm in trouble. I don't have anyone to dance with at the folk dance.
You idiot.
Hey, Minase.
What's wrong?
Can I call you Minori too?
It's lame to ask permission for that kind of thing every time.
And so, our festival came to an end. Looking back now, this day, this moment, I think it was the most memorable moment in my high school life.
Hey, Nishiyama! Do this for me!
Yes, I'll be right there. Time flies. 8 years later, I was in my 4th year at work. Everyday life is hectic, nothing special. Days that sometimes make me nostalgic for my former student days. Memories that would normally become faint, but I still remember.
I want you to do this too while you're at it.
That's your quota, isn't it? It's probably because she's one of my colleagues. The most memorable friend of my high school life and a close friend who has been with me since then, from university to working life, Minore Minase.
What happened to your usual meddling? It is your virtue to take on troublesome matters without being asked to do so.
There's a difference between meddling and coddling. When I think about it, we've known each other for a very long time. Probably the person I spent the most time with outside of my family. She's probably the same way, especially when she doesn't have any friends except me. Hey, are you alright? Are you taking your medicine properly?
Shut up. I'm taking them even if you don't tell me to. I mean, if I don't take it, you'll be very noisy, so I'm definitely taking it.
You look a bit tired though. Do you want to go somewhere and have a rest?
You're still a meddlesome bastard. Where would you say I can take a rest?
Anywhere is fine as long as it's a place to rest. I didn't mean it like that!
3 hours rest costs 5,000 yen.
Minori?
I'm just joking. Why are you looking so nervous, you silly? Well, I'm not in such bad shape, so I'm fine. It will get better if I go home and get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow then, Azuma.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bad for my heart. I and Minori have known each other for a long time. I've known her for a long time as my best friend. But Minori and I are already adults, a man and a woman. Or rather, from the time we met, Minori and I were already old enough to be aware of the relationship between a man and a woman. But we've reached this age without ever being in that kind of relationship. Well, I wonder what she thinks about me. There's no doubt that I'm special to her, but probably not as a man. Stop! The answer won't come out even if I'm worrying about it alone. The answer can always be given if I want to give it. That's how close I am to her. The moment I give the answer, I'm afraid that the distance will be far away, so I'm not really taking the first step though.
Azuma!
Call me once is enough.
Azuma!
Don't extend it!
Azuma!
Don't play with my name. What do you want?
Please check the documents, thank you.
Yes. During work, she spoke to me in a very energetic and somewhat annoying manner, and was a junior female employee, Akane Akai. She's cheerful and energetic, and she's quite good at work, but Miss Akai?
Yes?
You've printed the wrong page.
What? Oh no!
She's a bit of a goofball and much of a screw-up. For this reason, my boss has personally appointed me to check on her as her supervisor.
I'll go and print it out again right away! What's with your sigh? Don't play it cool.
I'm not even allowed to give a sigh?
Huh. You look like you're having a lot of fun.
I don't know what you're judging it by, but it's a rather tough job.
I think she likes you a lot.
Is that so?
Thinking back, it was the same when we were in university. The girls from the same club often invited you out for a drink.
What are you talking about all of a sudden?
Azuma's always been attracted to women. It kind of pisses me off.
I don't think I'm popular with women. What?
I really hate that part of you.
What?
People who are not aware of they're popular at the worst.
Don't look at people as enemies based on your own assumptions. Generally speaking...
Huh?
I refused most of those invitations to drink. I had to cook dinner for someone else.
Huh?
You know you forgot the favor I did you. This is exactly what it means to be ungrateful.
You just said most of those invitations.
Eh? Such a conversation took place, and at the end of the day's work...
Let's go for a drink!
The drinking party was decided to be held by the people with free time at the workplace due to Akai's suggestion. Speaking of me, I had Minori to think about, so I thought I'd pass on attending, but...
What? Let's go, Azuma! You should join us once in a while!
Akai encouraged me and...
It's fine, let's go.
Are you sure? It's time for you to take your medicine.
I'll go to the toilet or whatever the way and drink. If you don't participate in the occasional drinking party, you'll look out of place at work, won't you?
With Minori's agreement...
Good job again this week!
And thus, we were both ended up joining in the drinking party.
Hi.
What's the matter with you? It's a drinking party. You have to be more excited.
I'm sorry. I'm not so sociable, so I'm not good at this kind of atmosphere.
Then why did you join us?
Also, I'm not good with alcohol.
Seriously, why did you participate?
It's none of your business.
It's good that she joined, but for some reason Minori is in a bit of a bad mood. She should have quietly gone home first and waited at home.
Azuma, Azuma, Azuma!
Call me once.
Azuma!
You're a little too drunk. I told you not to play with my name.
Are you drinking?
I'm drinking.
I'm drinking too!
I know, your face is very red.
Yes! My surname is Akai.
She's passed out. And why are you staring at her? You're scary. You're already scary, but if you realize the fact of being a senior, it's even worse.
I've been wondering, are you and Miss Minase dating?
What?
What do you mean? You're always together, and if you ask, you've known each other since high school, right?
No. Me and Minori...
No way. We're not in a relationship or anything.
Oh, really? I see! Then I'm glad!
Are you glad?
You might have noticed, but I like you quite a lot.
What?
Do you consider younger people to be in love with you? What do you think?
Hey, you're really too drunk. In a place like this?
It's alright! Everyone is drunk and no one is listening!
No, that's not the problem.
What kind of person is your type? Domesticated woman? Or someone who works hard? Don't you have any desire to get married?
Hey, you should.
You're old enough to think about marriage.
I understand, so calm down. I'll talk about it when the drinking is over.
When the drinking is over,
Yeah.
are you going to continue your conversation in private?
So why do you look so scary?
Boo, just so you know, I'm serious. I'm drunk, but it's just a buff. It's like a nudge to reveal my true feelings. And so what? What kind of girl is your type? I'm going to become your ideal type. I'll become your ideal type.
Hey, anyway, don't talk about that now. I can't think about it even if you suddenly tell me in a place like this. In the end, Akai's unexpected confession show ended with the end of the drinking session.
I knew you were popular.
Yeah. And now I'm going home with Minori like this, but this person's in an even worse mood than she was at the drinking party. You know...
What?
By any chance, are you jealous?
Huh?
She's scary.
Don't make strange misunderstandings. I'm just strangely annoyed to see Azuma being popular.
That's called jealousy.
Don't interpret it in a convenient way, idiot.
Hey...
You and I are friends. There's no reason to be jealous.
I'm a friend. If you say so clearly, there are no words to reply.
I'm not even qualified to be jealous.
Maybe I should just give up. To want to go from being her friend to having a relationship that goes beyond that. Company after holidays.
Azuma, Azuma, Azuma!
I won't say anything.
Azuma!
What do you want? Tell me what you want! It's Monday after the weekend since that drinking session. This girl who talks to me with the same tension as usual is probably too drunk to remember anything from that day.
Have you thought about my confession?
Ugh.
Ah, perhaps you thought I'd forgotten about it.
That's not...
I'm going to officially get your attention from today. Look at this! I made lunch!
Wow, you're pretty good at it.
I'm a relatively domesticated girl even so.
Well,
By the way, I'm also working hard at my job.
that's a lie.
No way! Well...
Whoa, Minori!
Ah, Miss Minase! How are you doing? My lunchbox filled with love. Isn't it a fine work? That's amazing. I can't make something like this. I'm happy for you. You hardly ever have someone else cook for you, do you?
Yeah.
See you.
See you.
Miss Minase? Oh, okay. What's wrong? No, I was thinking of making coffee too. Oh, I see. By the way, I wanted to get advice from Miss Minase on various things. Oh, advice? That's right, because you have known Mr. Azuma for a long time, right? Don't you know a lot about what he likes? Well, a little. I'm sure you do, so please tell me. I'm serious about him. Fine, I'll tell you. When we go to see a movie or something together, he keeps saying like, oh, that scene in the cafe on the way home is connected to the scene in the previous film. In the first place, I haven't seen the previous film. I just went to see it because he wanted to see. Even in games and stuff, he's picky every single time. I'm not even asking him, but... he's just like you know. What? Because from a while ago, you've been talking a lot about things I haven't even asked questions about. I'm sorry. I was a little surprised because you aren't a person who talks much. Well, you really talk about him very happily. You said you aren't together, but how's it really? Don't you like him? I don't. We're just friends. Is that so? Well, that's good. If you liked him, I thought it would be bad for me to interrupt you. No, you're not. You don't have to worry about that. Rather, it's me who's interrupting. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time. I was helping you teaching me all sorts of things. It's fine. Don't worry about that much. I think I'll immediately ask him out on a date after work today. Hey, Akai. Yes? You know, you have a bright personality. You're a good cook. You can take care of other people. I think you're probably a good girl. Thank you. There are a lot of things that I'm not good at, but... So, take good care of him. Huh? Azuma, he always cares about others. He doesn't take care of himself much. He needs someone to be taken care of, so... Miss Minase, it's not something you should be asking me to do. What? Then, going back first. See you later! Yeah.
Minori, are you off work?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'll finish soon.
I'm not waiting. I'm leaving.
What?
Also, you don't have to cook dinner today.
What's that? Are you going out for a meal?
Well, it's like that. Or rather, you don't have to come all the way to cook dinner at all in the future.
What?
See you later.
Hey, wait!
What is it?
What's going on all of a sudden? I don't understand.
Nothing. Doesn't make sense that you come to my house every day to cook for me.
Well, it's a kind of habit.
It's a bad habit.
What?
For you, it's a hassle. And if I get too used to living like this, I'll become a useless person who can't even prepare my own meals by myself. That's why... That's enough. I'm not going to let you do anything unnecessary.
What do you mean by unnecessary things?
I'm sorry, I said too much, but I don't need it anymore. Yes, I want to say one last thing.
What?
Thank you for everything you've done for me. I'm grateful for your help.
Hey.
Bye. Azuma? What are you doing? Standing here in the corridor?
Nothing.
Are you leaving already?
Yes, I'm almost finished.
Well then, if you want, why don't we go out together afterwards?
With Akai, huh? Akai, who says she really likes me, is asking me out after work. I know what that means.
So that's enough. Don't do anything unnecessary.
Yes, that's right. I don't have any more habits that I have to do after work anymore. Okay, shall we go then?
Really? Yay!
That's right. If I think about it, it was a troublesome thing, just as she said. Because of that habit, I couldn't even go out to play after work. So, I'm okay with this.
I'm hungry.
Hey, what's with that face?
Why are you here? I told you, you don't have to come. In general, you should be going out with Akai.
You knew about it?
Yeah, that's right. Today, Akai said she was going to ask you out on a date. Didn't she ask you out?
Yes, she asked me out.
Then why did you...
I was rejected. It was a quick rejection.
Huh?
So, cheer me up. I'll make you dinner as a favor.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by that?
I'll make you dinner. As expected, it seems you haven't eaten any food.
So, what do you mean you were rejected?
It's just the way I told you.
She's the one who said she liked you, no? But why did she...
I don't know. It's just... The habit doesn't disappear in just one day, it seems.
What? Azuma! Where are we going?
Well, let's see.
I'm looking forward to it. It's the first time for me to go out with you alone, so I'm very nervous.
I'm looking forward to it too. I don't often go out for fun after work.
But you have a rather gloomy expression on your face.
What?
What are you thinking about? What are you worried about? Is it about work?
No, I'm not.
We're on a date right now. Let's forget about that and have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's enough. It's over. I'm getting tired of you already.
What?
Did you hear me? I'm tired of you. I want to draw back the fact that I said I like you.
Hey, wait. Did I do something?
You didn't do anything.
Then why?
Because you didn't do anything. All the time I've been out, I've been talking to you, but you're just not there. Your body just follows me, but your mind is not here. I know someone who is a complete opposite.
What?
A person whose heart is right there all the time, but only the body tries to leave it. You like that person so much that you can't help it, but for whatever reason, you're a silly person who keeps trying to get away from that person. I was so serious about you. I can tell because I really loved you. And I know that person is not me.
I feel like an idiot. I was thinking about things like whether you were eating properly the whole time I was with Akai, or what I was going to make for dinner today even though you said you didn't want it. I can't get out of this habit. If I'm not with you, I don't feel at ease.
You idiot. Get rid of that habit quickly. It's not a habit that can be continued forever. It is a habit that will end one day anyway.
If that's the case, I don't have to end it.
Of course you have to.
No, I don't have to get rid of it. Let's get married, Minori.
What?
Then I'll cook you dinner all the time and take care of you.
Are you serious? Are you an idiot?
I'm not an idiot. I'm serious.
If you're serious, you're even more an idiot. It's impossible for you to marry me.
Why?
I'm physically weak. I can't even do the housework properly. I don't even socialize with others. I'm a useless person. No matter what I do, I'll always cause you trouble. Marriage is not the way to go.
Then why did you become friends with me? Why did you stay with me for years and years? If that's what you think, then you should avoid me from the beginning.
Of course it's because I like you. If we're just friends, I just thought, that's fine. What's wrong with being friends? But I can't go any further. I can't bear it. Can't stand being a burden to you.
Minori.
That's enough. Leave me alone.
It's too late.
Huh?
You're part of my life now. I can't live without you. Wherever I am, I think about you and I can't feel at ease unless I'm with you.
What?
If you say it's a burden, then fine. That's what marriage is all about, isn't it? We should support each other because we're important to each other than ever. Am I wrong?
I don't know. You've never been married or in love before. You sound like you know a lot.
That's the same for you.
Don't be silly. I've been in love a lot. For 8 years. All the time. I've been in love with one man. Don't underestimate the depth of my love.
That's the same for me too.
I wonder... I'm really only you. Unlike you, I'm not popular with other guys or anything.
So? Tell me, we've already been going a long way for 8 years. Minori, marry me.
I mean... The pot is boiling.
Whoa! Bonus.
You're the worst, stumbling at your lines on the once-in-a-lifetime stage.
I couldn't help it. I was so nervous.
Your hand was shaking so much when you put on the ring that you dropped it once. That's embarrassing.
You're the one whose face was so blushed during the kiss that I couldn't look at it.
Shut up. Your face was pretty weird too.
What?
Well, as you can see, they get along very well.